Ambitions. And here on BBC Radio Wales, we have the man himself on the line from Geordieland. Hello, Joe.
Hello, how are you?
I'm really good. You know, that is one of my go-to songs. I absolutely adore it. Seriously.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's a feel-good song, isn't it? It always makes me feel good when I sing it.
It's always on my playlist, and I've just been with the rest of Steps all week, and we had a little, as this usually goes, a little unscheduled drinky in the hotel.
And love it.
And Ambitions came on my playlist, so we all had a little tequila and a boogie to you. So you were with us in spirit.
Oh, I'm jealous I wasn't there. I would have loved that. I'm dying for a night out.
You were ears, I should say, ears in Welsh, were burning, and they all said they loved, because, well, you've got lots of connections with Steps, haven't you?
Yeah.
So Faye lives up in your neck of the woods. She's in Sunderland, but I don't want to start a rift there.
Well, actually, you know what? I'm kind of... It's even worse for me, because I live, like, bang in between Sunderland and Newcastle. So when the football conversation comes up, it's always you've got to tread very carefully.
Oh, so you're in no man's land. You've got one leg in Sunderland and one leg in Newcastle, and the world in between, babe.
Sounds about right.
Okay, so Faye lives in your neck of the woods, kind of, a stone's throw away.
Yeah.
And of course, you did a TV show with Claire many, many moons ago, didn't you?
Yeah, and obviously I've known you for years as well, and then I was obviously, and still am, obsessed with Steps. I always tell you guys, you were my first ever concert.
Bless you. Do you know, it's crazy to think that both of us are still doing this after... I mean, you're a baby compared to us, and... well, you are, aren't you? How old are you now?
I'm 30 in June this year.
Oh, you're a wee Ben.
It's the big 3-0 this year, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm going to be allowed to have a party, because the actual birthday is in June, but I'm planning something for July. So fingers crossed that normality continues to resume, and I'll be able to celebrate it properly.
But you've done quite a lot. You've done a lot for your 30 years on this earth. I mean, I said earlier on that you won the X Factor. That was back in 2009, and you know, everybody thinks that when you win a TV show or you get a #1 record, then you can just relax. It's plain sailing. But for us, that's when the hard work started.
Yeah, it is. It's hard, and I always say to people, you know, when people ask me now, which feels strange because I still feel like I've only been doing it 5 minutes, even though it seems like a lifetime ago. People say to me, you know, like, what's the hardest thing? And I say, you know, success is brilliant, you know, and it's wonderful, and when you have exciting things, but maintaining that and keeping that momentum going is 10 times harder than anything else, you know, and keeping all the plates spinning at once. So I feel lucky that I still get to do it, and I think, you know, in the last year that we've had, with all of this craziness, it's been lovely to kind of, you know, share online shows with the fans, and obviously release a single in January and stuff. And I think when you realise so many people in our industry can't do stuff, you feel lucky that you feel even more lucky that you can do it, you know, in extreme circumstances.
I have loads of guests on this show from all different decades, and and the music business has changed. Do you not feel it's changed so much? And, you know, it's all about streaming and downloads and different formats and assigned vinyl, and now we're even doing cassettes.
It's crazy. I mean, it's just like, and you know, you probably have this as well. By the way, I love your new song and video. I was watching that this morning. It's so camp, and I love it.
Of course, I think Michelle Visage and Steps. I mean, it's like gay heaven, right?
It's fantastic. But yeah, like when I was having the meetings in January talking about all the single stuff and all of the social media conversations that have to take place now, and you know, even just 10 years ago, coming off X Factor, you know, that was the year Twitter came out. So they walked up to it. That's how quick it's changed, because they walked up to us on X Factor with these mobile phones, and they were like, right, there's this new app come out. It's going to be huge. It's Twitter. There's an account. Just go on and say what you want. And I remember thinking, what are you supposed to say? And then it's incredible that now pretty much everything is generated from social media. It's crazy.
Yeah, and you know, it's all about behind the scenes content. So I mean, I'm quite good. I know I literally film everything, and it's unedited. So what you see is what you get. No, it is, and sometimes I get told off for it. But I just think, you know what? You're in the moment. You're in these incredible situations. I wasn't supposed to film Graham Norton, you know, backstage last night, but I did. But it gives the fans.
It's what people want to see, you know. Like,
yeah, totally. It's all content, and they feel like they're there with you and living it with you.
And I always think, like, I think when you do it as a job and you do it for a living, it's hard sometimes to understand that. So every now and again, I take myself away and I go, right, if I like somebody, what would I want to see that they don't show on social media, you know? And I think if you view it like that, I always try and share behind the scenes things because it is exciting, you know? And we forget when we're on the treadmill of work, it's really exciting, you know?
I had so many comebacks to that, but I'm not going to go there. Okay, I've got a bit more media savvy, but let's not go there. And even a Zoom, I have to do Zoom on Monday with This Morning, and I'm going to mess that up. I know I am, but you have been producing and performing shows. And
from home.
Yeah, how does that even start?
Well, so basically, exactly this time last year, for some reason, I texted like the guys that I work with, my crew guys on 2S Sound and everything, and I said, right, tell me everything that I need in my house to make a show happen from home. Doesn't have to be overcomplicated, doesn't have to be too technical, but what do I need? So Gareth, who looks after my sound, he's toured with me for years, he sent a list through, like microphone, mixing desk, all of that stuff. And then we tested some out in the summer. And you know, like anything, I mean, it takes a lot of getting used to. It's completely different. And what the funniest thing about it is at the end of the song, I keep saying thank you, and I'm like, nobody's clapping. Why are you saying thank you, Joe?
How do you say thank you with a gin?
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because you forget, like on stage, how much time at the beginning and the end of a song applause takes up. You know, it takes up such a natural awkward silence, doesn't it?
Mate, I tell you what, we'll download a load of sound bites for you and send them here. There you go.
That's what I need. You know, like off Friends, the laughter and the applause. I need to just record it off Friends, I think.
Yes, you need to believe that you are loved.
But it's been wonderful. You know, we started out with four shows in the summer, and I thought, you know, with streaming and online shows and people being in lockdown, you know, it'll be a different kind of demand to what it would be to go on tour and everything like that. And last weekend we did the 50th online show, so wow. I feel lucky that people want to come and watch them, and we are going to carry on doing some more, but just obviously not as normality resumes, we're going to cut back on them and try and hopefully get some socially distanced stuff in person with people over the next couple of months as well.
I mean, this pandemic has hit us all hard in many, many different ways, but especially our industry for all those reasons that you said earlier. You know, it's all about connection, it's all about actually being there in the moment, having that relationship in an audience.
Yeah.
And I think we've diversified very well as a performing community. You know, the things that you're doing, it gives people hope and interaction and a purpose as well for a Friday night.
Yeah, and I think, you know, like what I kept saying, you know, I got loads of messages, people going, oh my God, thank you so much for doing it. But even for me to kind of rehearse the songs and plan the shows, it was just some little glimmer of like normality that like we've all missed, you know. And I suppose everybody who does their normal routines of going to work every day, you know, just like that is for us getting ready for a tour or a show or going to do promo for a single. And it was just something every week that just kind of felt like I'm still being able to do my job, you know. Yep. And it was fun, actually. I mean, I've made a fool of myself. I've dressed up as Jerry Halliwell.
I saw.
I've done cooking once. I've nearly burnt the kitchen down a few times.
You were Minka Spice, weren't you?
Maybe I need to do a steps one. That would be a good one.
I need this in my life. Yes. Which one would you do?
Oh God. What song? I think I might have to go for Stomp's my favourite. You know, I love Stomp.
Oh, a classic. Okay, old school.
Yeah. And maybe off the new album, Come and Dance With Me. That's my favourite off the new album. I love that song.
Oh, that's a good one. Well, we've just released news yesterday that we're doing... The first album went down so well, we're doing a part 2 of the album.
I saw.
It's crazy.
That's great.
It is. I mean, there's lots of new tracks on there, and plus one not many people have picked up on, actually, but there's a very special surprise on there. But if anybody's listening and they haven't actually figured it out yet, and you know what, fans, they how do they know that we're there at a venue before we even know where we're going? It's crazy. How does that happen?
Oh, I know. People sometimes people tell me what I'm doing before I even know I've got the job.
Exactly. It's absolutely true. Seriously. You've done a load of shows as well. I mean, I remember I did Joseph in
Newcastle. I came to see you with Joseph, yeah.
You did? You came back to my dressing room. I was there in my loincloth. Oh, that blinking loincloth, I tell you what.
I know. But what isn't it a lovely show though? I just loved doing that show so much. It was a brilliant experience.
I had the most brilliant time. It was actually the first show I ever did when I was 9 years old in just my local Amdram company, and I played Benjamin, the youngest brother, and then I used to watch Joseph do it, sing Close Every Door and just wish. Yeah. And then my first job in the West End was Joseph, which was just, it came full circle.
It's just such a feel-good show, isn't it? I mean, 10 shows a week. Actually, did you do the 12 shows a week then?
I did 9. I negotiated my contract.
Well, I made the mistake of saying, they said, would you like to show off a week? Like a matinee or whatever, the usual conversation. And I said, do you know what? I'll just see how I'm feeling every week. And then before you know it, I'm like, well, you can't do that, unless it's announced that you're not going to be there.
Of course, yeah.
You can't just take a random show off. So I ended up doing 10 shows and halfway through the schedule, I'm thinking, this was a big bit. I should not have done this.
Sack your agent. I seriously had such a ball on that show. I mean, I got abs for the first time in my life as well. Yeah. I did. But
it's just psychological, isn't it? When you've got to be in a loincloth every day.
Do you still remember the colours?
I do.
Oh dear, see, it's been a while for me. Go on, crack on.
Oh God, hang on. It's half 10 now. Let's get me brilliant. Yeah. It was red and yellow and green and brown and scarlet and black and ochre and peach and ruby and olive and violet and fawn and lilac and gold and chocolate and mauve.
I got it. Cream and crimson and silver and gold and asher and blue and purple and white and pink and orange and blue. Yes. I can't believe I've just done that.
I'm surprised. I can't normally say it. I normally have to sing it. It's like a psychological block.
Well, I went into harmony with your speech, so well done for keeping up with that.
The dream team.
Let's play some music. What track have you chosen, mate?
I've chosen Starship. Nothing's going to stop us now.
Oh, why? Tell.
Because I thought, do you know what? One of the first things that I want to do when I get out of full lockdown and we can have a night out, and I want to go and hire a karaoke room and belt this song out at the top of my lungs. Oh, very drunk.
I would have chosen Tequila, but each to their own.
I'm sat in my bed singing this.
Yeah. What a vision. Have you got your fluffy mules on? What have you got?
I've actually got silk pyjamas on. I'm posh tonight.
Oh, that's not what it says in the toilet, bib. That film reminds me. That song reminds me of Mannequin. Are you too young to know Mannequin?
I don't know Mannequin. No, I don't know that.
Now I feel really old. Okay, so obviously the title suggests it's about a dummy. And it starred Sex and the City's Kim Cattrall. So she was the mannequin that came to life. And the shop, he was a window dresser, was Andrew McCarthy. And I knew from a very young age, when all my friends fancied Kim and I adored Andrew, that I was different.
Yes, that was when you knew. That was the moment.
One of the moments, and seeing the Incredible Hulk. So let's move on, shall we? What else are you up to this year, mister?
So, obviously, we just released a new single, Baby Had Your Fun, and then I've just literally been in the studio last week working on new material. I was due to start recording an album last year, and then obviously with lockdown and things, and I've been up in Newcastle, and kind of was a little bit more difficult piecing it all together. But just working on that. Hopefully doing we're just getting ready for some announcements next week of some exciting social distance shows, and then going on tour in September, which I can't wait. I kind of, I know you guys are going on tour as well, and I'm keeping everything crossed that it's happening, Well,
the thing, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Things are happening.
Yeah.
So where are you going? Tell us.
So we're going everywhere. I mean, to be honest with you, it was last year's tour that was supposed to happen, and it's all been pushed to September. But all the dates are on joemckelderofficial.com. because off the top of my head, we're going here, there, and everywhere, and I can't remember all of the places.
I hear you, and sometimes when I'm on stage, I go, "Hello, Birmingham," and we're in Newcastle.
Oh God! Do you know what? I've never done that before, and it's a fear of mine that I always will do that, but I've never done that before. Do you get booed if you do that?
No, well, we've got inner ears, so I never made the mistake. No, I never made the mistake. But when I did it once, every night then I wrote it on my hand to make sure.
Yeah, I get them to write it. I get them to print it on the top of the set list. That I find, and then wherever it is in the building, you can see it.
Top tips,
that works for me.
Top tips.
That works for me.
Look, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and fingers crossed, we will be able to have drinks soon. And
yes,
you've announced your tour dates, and as well as tour dates, you have new music, and I know that we're going to play a track for you now. Tell us all about it.
Yes. So this is a new single that came out in January called "Baby Had Your Fun," and it's kind of country meets pop disco, shall we say? We wrote it last year in lockdown, and it's kind of the breakup song that I say that we should all try and follow when you are allowed to go out. You know, instead of lying on the sofa and wanting the ice cream and feeling sorry for yourself, you go, "No, I'm calling my friends up, I'm hitting the dance floor, and I'm shaking it off."
Well, you do realise,
shaking off the heartbreak.
You realise that was 5, 6, 7, 8 as well. They're very different, though, right?
They are. I promise I didn't copy.
Joe, thank you so much for coming up. Please, let's have long overdue cocktails very soon. Lots of love.
Yes, I would love that. Thank you. Thanks for having us. Have a lovely weekend.
Take care. Ta-da.
Bye.